Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Bring It On. So we're not quite done here yet. We still have a couple more things I want to do inside before we leave. Eventually we'll get out and start adventuring. But we need to talk to Woljif, and I also want to respec before we leave. So my last level up I selected Heavy Armor Focus. But going out there and looking at Jordan's inventory and seeing that breastplate, reminded me that there is a Cavalier class that doesn't have Heavy Armor Proficiency. The Beast Rider. So there's a very good chance that a lot of the Cavalier specific equipment is going to be medium armor instead of heavy. And I'd rather stay flexible and use armor that's more thematic for my build. So long as it looks cool. That's one of the big reasons why I'm drawn to heavy armors, because I think it looks really cool. And so that's, you know, the rule of cool is more important than any optimization. Let's blitz through this real fast, select all the same stuff. Except for Heavy Armor Focus. I'll probably grab Intimidating Prowess instead. Alright, 12 and 12. 16. Oh, also, instead of Athletics, I'm going to be grabbing Mobility. That's more important for the build. In fact, Athletics is, I wouldn't say useless, but for all the mounted feats, you do need Mobility. Try and select everything in the same order that I did when I created him the first time. For the sake of consistency. And I can show off the respec mechanic as well. I think it was 4, yeah. I think this was 5 or 6.
A mere flesh will calm down. Not dead yet. Someone else would make better use of this.
Alright, more mobility and persuasion. Alright, we're going to have Intimidating Prowess here. So your physical might is intimidating to others. Add your strength modifier to persuasion skill when used to intimidate checks in addition to your charisma modifier. This works really well with Dazzling Display. Gives us an extra +5 to that difficulty check. And if it ever comes up in dialogue, that's an extra +5 for our persuasion check. Very, very good. And then, whoops. There we go. Relevel our mount. Death Touched. Alright. Let's go talk to Woljif. I don't know where he's at. Oh, there he is. Oh, it takes a day to respec. Woljif gives you a friendly wave. Hey, Chief. Want to talk? I want to know more about you. How much is more? Are your family Thieflings too? My family... It's an interesting story, actually, but I don't tell it to just anyone. My father and mother had a bakery. Their life was great, but the gods never blessed them with any children. One day my mother went to the river to wash some clothes, and saw a basket floating downstream. Inside the basket was a baby, adorable and chubby and fast asleep. It was yours truly. My hand was a note spritzed with expensive perfume that said, "Take care of my little angel." My mother brought me home, and she and my father realized right away that I was heaven sent. They raised me as their own. When I turned 15, my mother showed me my baby blanket. It was embroidered with the coat of arms of an unknown kingdom, all in gold thread. Ever since then, I've been looking for my real parents. But it's not easy. Traveling takes money. So if you have a few gold coins, I'll pay you back as soon as I find my real family. I give you my word. Yeah, I bet you're a Nigerian prince too. That doesn't sound very believable. Seriously? Usually everyone just believes everything I say. People love stories like that. You know, a cute baby, a basket, a blanket. What's not to love? They look at me differently, as if I'm worth more just because the sheets I spit up. The sheets I spit up on might have had a fancy coat of arms on them. Woljif laughs bitterly. If I really was a prince. If I was really a prince. Jeez. I wouldn't be sitting around here, I can tell you that much. I've already gone to take what was rightfully mine. Then I come back with an army so I can watch the guards and merchants who pushed me around all my life bow and scrape before me. But that's not going to happen. Want to hear the real story? The true story is boring. My family is human, both my father and my mother. They used to live in a village nearby. I forget the name. When my mom had me, my old man got so mad he almost killed her. Pinned her to the wall and started asking questions, like why his son had horns and a tail. When my mom told him that her mother, my grandmother, used to fool around with a demon. When he heard this, Daddy Dearest got drunk, crashed the house, and then took off. I don't remember any of this, of course. My grandma told me. I was about 3 years old when my mother brought me to Canabras, and left me with my grandma. She said to her, "You and your demon have ruined my life. Now you handle him." Then she left. I haven't seen her or my dad since. She did leave a blanket, though. That part was true. My grandma burned it because it was infested with lice. It wasn't even good enough to use as a rag. You think after all that, my grandmother saw the light, but rightly ashamed and kissed my horns. I wish. Woljif grins nastily, his yellow eyes flashing. People used to give her trouble for fooling around with the demon. She wasn't welcome anywhere, so she got angry. Normal kids get bedtime stories, see? But the only tales I got were how my dad was worthless and my mom was a slut. And I was a demon spawn that no one cared about. She only kept me so I could help around the house and steal things she needed. So that's the truth. Tell me the real story of your family. Alright, so we've already read that. How did you become a Thiefling? Woljif grins happily. I was already a Tiefling, and life made me a thief. I've been in this business since I was a kid. My grandma used to say, if you don't work, you don't eat. She gave me as an apprentice to Iger. Iger? I'm saying that right. A Tiefling neighbor of ours. He was a cunning old geezer. He knew how to take a purse off somebody's belt, how to cut open bags undetected, even do some magic. He used to climb through basement windows and open doors from the inside while I was still small enough. When I grew and stopped fitting through the windows, I decided I was done with my education. I repaid my grandma for everything she'd done for me, which was absolutely nothing. Why would I feed her if she wasn't bringing me any money? If you don't work, you don't eat. So I took off. I got bored of my teacher too. But when I as much as hinted at leaving, he said I owed him for my education. So I just nodded and then I joined the Owlbears, the gang that ran our district. Told them that Iger was working their territory. I don't know what happened to him, but I stayed with the Owlbears. And their leader started giving me the cold shoulder. I did steal from him, but never that much. So I had to rat them out to the guards. And I joined the Golden Hands. That was a good time. Rich pickings. I would have stayed with the Golden Hands, but the Northmen promised me a bigger cut if I told them where the Golden Hands kept their loot. I'm no fool, of course, so I told them. After that, I only had one option. To join the Northmen. And then the family came. At first no one took them seriously, calling them Thieflings and all that. But I felt it right away. They had power behind them, and they had more money. I'm always on the winner's side, Chief. That's why I joined the Thieflings. And right on time. Some thugs came from the capital and made the Northmen leave. The ones who survived are in the family now too. Tell me about the Thieflings. Alright, I won't tell you everything, mind, but I can tell you a little. The Thieflings are Mendevian thieves. The gang was started at Mendev's capital by someone or other, and soon after they'd spread all over Galarian. They're also called the Family. You know why? Because Tieflings are easy to spot. Wherever we go, guards always hassle us asking, "Are you Lost or Summit, Hornhead?" We usually say we're visiting family, and if they say, "Oh yeah? Who?" Give him the name of a local Thiefling, who confirms everything, even if he's never seen you before in his life. That's why we're all brothers and sisters. There are rules. Who does what, who gets what, cut. I won't say it's a lot. They make it worth your while. They'll even heal you if you take an arrow. But the biggest no-no is this. You don't steal from the family. You don't contribute to the shared pot. You'll get the cold shoulder. You won't be treated like family no more. Then everyone will hear that you went to visit some relatives who have a farm someplace. My best guess? The farm is in some underground well beneath Canabras, where they breed graveworms. Heh, if Sister Charisme, our boss, looked the other way more often, I'd really be able to spread my wings. Yeah, stealing from someone you call a sister. That's low. Birds fly low before a storm. I'm just surviving as best I can. Woljif fixes you with a look. Imagine the situation, Chief. You're 7 years old, you come home, and your own grandma, your family, is lying there drunk. There's no food because she got wasted in the morning and didn't cook anything. You know that she has a stash under the 3rd floorboard. You take this money so you don't starve to death. And then, when she wakes up, she beats you because you shouldn't have taken it. You should have stolen some food. You're a waste of space. That's something you can never understand, Chief. You only care about moral choices. You always know what's right and what's wrong. Brother, sister, grandma, mother. In real life, they're just words. What do you think of Canabras? It used to be such a hole. When the Crusaders and refugees came here, things started looking up. Although it depends on who you ask, I suppose. Which is better steer clear of here, because Iomede's followers are ferocious. Especially Harun Shapuk, the local inquisitor. He's a tough old goat. I didn't see it myself, but a serving girl at the tavern told me that her second cousin's son from his 3rd wife is a paladin. And he said that Harun takes an unsheathed sword with him even to the privy, and when he sleeps, he puts it on the pillow next to him. When he's in his cups, he strokes the blade and whispers sweetly to it. You're my one true friend. You're the only one I can rely on. Erebeth's given us a hard time too. You as much as look at some nice little bauble, and before you can think of taking it, before your fingers even twitch, she's coming for you, with her nostrils flaring and her fangs glinting. Scary woman. Even she's better than Sister Charisme, our boss here in Canabras. By our, I mean Thieflings, boss. You get caught by Erebeth, it's all out in the open. You go to prison or you end up as worm food. If you step on Charisme's toes, poof, you're gone. Just like that. No one ever sees you again. All you hear is, he went to the family farm, even though he's never had a family or a farm. You have demon blood in you. Do you feel drawn to the abyss? Woljif's tail whips back and forth nervously, raising clouds of dust. Why? Are you an inquisitor or something? What's it to you? If I've wronged you somehow, just come out and say it. Don't ask me trick questions. I know how it happens. I used to know a fella. He was married to the sister of a guard. Some shady types got him drunk one night and started asking him suspicious questions about the gods, about the queen. So he wakes up hungover with a headache. Someone's mumbling something. It smells like smoke. And his feet are kinda hot. He looks down, and there's a fire under him, and the prelate is reading out his sentence. Your shadow looks strange. What kind of magic is that? Ladies and gentlemen, roll up, roll up. No dark magic, no fraud. Everybody's dipping out. The NPCs ran out. Trick without any deception. Woljif snaps his fingers and blue flame engulfs him. The shadow that was previously lying calmly at his feet grows, floating in the air behind him. It is the shadow of a huge horned winged demon with claws. But nah. It doesn't do anything. It just looks scary. I remember when I was little, an old beggar showed me and my friends how to make shadow puppets. You put your fingers together in front of a light, and it makes the shadow of a deer or a dog, or a dove on the wall. I tried so hard, I wanted to make the best shadow, and I did. It just happened. Woljif chuckles sadly. Funnily enough, that's the last time I had any real friends. They tried to stone me later, screaming at me, calling me a demon. A tiefling is always a demon to these wimps. Even the lowest ranking drunken gnome thinks he's better than me, just because he hasn't got horns or a tail. The poorest beggar in the filthiest gutter thinks he's better than me. Most people would never show their shadow again after that first time. But I don't care. If stones start flying again, I'll just run. I'm used to it by now. Yeah, it looks formidable. I like it. Woljif chuckles pleased. What about the blue fire? That's my favorite part. And it doesn't burn at all. If I had a coin for every time I've caught a beating for my little show here, I'd already be proposing to Galfrey. But still, I don't want to give up something so beautiful. Tell me about your shadow again. Alright, same thing as last time. Alright, enough. I want to talk about something else. Go ahead, Chief. Alright, Woljif shrugs. Whatever. You're free to do as you please. Alright, we can finally leave, I think. Adventure awaits. I'm going to sell some of the stuff that we found to Joran before we go. If I remember where he's at.
I'll go ahead. I know the way.
Alright, let's bring him along as well, and we're ready to go. Alright, Defender's Heart. So a large rift tore Canabras apart, dividing the city into two halves. Only there's no known way of crossing it. So I can't go to the north yet because of this rift. No, it says I can make it there in 2 hours. Huh, I wonder where I should go first. Okay, so we have to do all of these during this chapter or they are lost forever. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Well, let's do Woljif's quest first. Only 2 hours away. Fallen horse. The bloody carcass of a strong steed with a broken leg is covered in mangled armor. The saddlebag is intact. Procure some reagents for creating consumable items here. Yeah, sure, we'll check it out. Okay. Alright, random encounter. See how tough these are.
Can we retreat already?
I didn't look at his spells and stuff. So mage armor, color spray, grease, and burning hands.
Cover me, all right?
I'll cut you wide open.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Ouchies. Alright, I know how that works. I wonder if there's loot in these random encounters. I'm gonna assume not. Yeah, it looks like just the bodies. The basement is dark and dank. You're immediately struck by the hostility of the gathered Thieflings. 5 of them are kneeling along the wall, separate from the rest. The tall woman, who had been cleaning her fingernails with the tip of her knife, greets you with narrowed eyes. Brother Woljif, Got my message then. So I couldn't swing by sooner, dear Sister Charisme. It was just one thing after another. First I was in shackles. Next, well no, I was still in shackles, and I was being watched. Then the chief got me out, and I came here straight away. I knew you'd been waiting on me. Enough talking, or else I'll be here all night. So, we had a clear plan. We were going to wait for nightfall, slip into the shop, grab the goods, and leave. Even if the neighbors called the guard, there was time to get away. But what happened? The airbeth showed up almost right away. We knew we'd be there. Somebody betrayed us. I have a good idea who it was. What do you have to say to that? Make it quick. Do you think Woljif knows the name of the traitor? Charisme turns to you. He speaks. I thought Woljif only brought you so he'd have someone to hide behind if things went south. Yes, he knows the name of the traitor. Every gang that Brother Woljif has been a part of has very quickly come to an end. Their hideout location was passed to the guards, where their competitors found out where they could ambush them. Woljif is the only one who always comes out smelling of roses. If you think about it, you'll come to the same conclusion as us. I'd have said that meant that Woljif was cursed with finding friends among losers and screw-ups. But now that he's with us, that must mean the curse has been broken. That depends. He was indeed most fortunate to find himself in a party with me. On the other hand, he also ended up in a party with you. Econobris is burning. Why are you squabbling here instead of fleeing the city? Charisme purses her lips. I'd be glad to leave, like the rest of my brothers and sisters. But in the family, there's nothing worse than betrayal. It's something we do not forgive. We don't forgive anyone who lets traitors off the hook either. If I don't find the rat, my superiors, let's just say, I wish I was burning in Canabris. I want to keep living, so I'm going to take a chance. Till I find out who is the traitor here, no one is leaving. If the burden of proof lies on the accuser, Woljif doesn't have to prove anything. In a single fluid motion, Charisme adjusts the grip on her knife. So she's now holding it by the blade, as if preparing to throw it. Burden of proof. Are you a city guard or something? I don't know how it is with your lot, but in the family, the highest rank is always right. And here, that's me. Now, Woljif, tell us your side of the story. What happened? What's there to tell? About a week ago, Sister Charisme got 6 of us together in this very basement. Me and those 5 over there, I mean. Woljif jerks his head toward the 5 Thieflings kneeling by the wall. She rounds us up, and she says we've got a score. Ancient trees and wonders. Ancient trees, that's hard to say. The one place nobody's ever been able to hit. The place that's guarded by a golem. But now, a powerful scroll that would knock out the golem just happened to come into our possession, along with a tip-off that the shop owner would be gone on a particular night. All 6 of us know a bit of magic. We know that any enchanted junk will sell for a pretty penny, so we're in. And the most important thing was that none of us was to be hanging about the shop ahead of the job. No casing out the place, no calling attention to ourselves from either the golem or its master. This job was top secret. It's all true so far. Go on. We did everything right, with the locks and the golem. I picked the lock, I remember it clear as day. Sister Donna was on lookout. Brother Malroon had the scroll. Nafi, Tabby, and Varner brought the sacks. We covered the windows and lit the torches. We were scooping up rings and tossing them in a sack. And one right expensive one rolled away from me. I crawled under a table after it. Next thing I know, Airbeth was there. Everybody scampered. I was still under the table. Not my finest moment. I was going to wait it out, but then those blockheads were dragging me out by the tail and put me in shackles. They took all my rings off me, about 20,000 worth. And to add insult to injury, I never even found the last one. In the end, I got busted over nothing. So they caught you, poor thing. Stripped you of your loot. You didn't even manage to stash anything. Charisme is pointedly polishing her knife. Where's the Moon of the Abyss, Brother Woljif? What is the Moon of the Abyss? It was an amulet. I used it to sit on a little cushion in the window of Ancient Trees and Wonders. Sterling silver, sparkled like a star. Fine piece of work. On one side there was a half moon, you know, a crescent, a waning moon. In the middle there was a dark crystal, like it was eclipsing the moon. Old man Felaman was so proud of that amulet. He used to say, I'll never sell it. It's the jewel of my collection. Woljif sighs unhappily. I used to go there to see what kind of treasures there were in the world. There's nothing else to look at in Canabras. People used to claim it was a powerful thing, but who's to say? If you ever stole a thing like that, you'd have the guards on you in the second you tried to fence it. Everybody knew that you were always hanging around ancient trees and wonders, rolling over the moon of the abyss. Did you think you could swipe it in all the commotion and keep it for yourself? Or did you hope that we'd all be locked up and you'd get off scot-free, and with a fancy trinket to boot? Don't take me for a mug, Woljif. I see right through you. Why would Irbeth arrest her own informant? Took the words right out of my mouth. It doesn't make any sense. If I was the rat, I'd have kissed her on the hand and been long gone by now. You know me, sister. I'm a cautious fella, not an idiot. Why would I go against the family? So the fish in the Selen can have a nice Woljif-sized dinner? The Moon of the Abyss is a pretty bauble, to be sure, but it's just an amulet. It ain't worth dying over. You knew Irbeth's people would protect you. You knew you could pin the moon going missing on them. Now you've come here with backup. You knew exactly what I was going to say to you. Only problem is, nobody's returned the amulet to Philemon. Are you giving Irbeth a cut? Is that it? Have you seen her? Do you think she could take a cut of anything I offered her? She can't be bought. She's like 3 Heralds of Iomedae all rolled into one. He speaks the truth. You'll find some knights who will take bribes. I'm sorry to say, but Irbeth Tirabade isn't one of them. But go on, Woljif. Well, that's the whole sorry story. Woljif crosses his arms, looking affronted. What's the family this turned out to be? It's just a name in the end. In the real family, people take each other at their word. They don't throw around accusations. I didn't take the Moon of the Abyss. What am I going to do with it? You can't sell it to no crusaders. It's a special item. You can't wear it. It'll get nicked. It's pretty to look at, sure, but it ain't that pretty. It's that important to you, Sister Charisme. I'll find it. Now drag the traitor here by his horns, just so you don't end up at the bottom of the Selen. But do you know what you're going to owe me for that? An apology. Right here, in front of everyone. You're going to apologize loud and clear so everybody hears it. You'll say, sorry, Woljif. You're a good guy, and I was wrong about you. Fine. You're one of my people, which is why I'm going to give you some time. But if you run, Brother Woljif, the family will get you wherever you go. You'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, tossing and turning at night, putting poison in every cup and every meal. You look into the eyes of every tiefling you meet, wondering if the families come for you. You'll have no peace. One day, you'll be tired of running. You'll stop to catch your breath, and that is when we'll get you. Got that? You've got away with words, Sister Charisme. A way that almost made me wet myself, but a way nonetheless. Let's go, Chief. We'll go chat to that scary gal Irbeth. She knows you a little. We can ask her who ratted us out. I'll let you do the talking. Yeah, we'll find the real traitor. And I'll get my apology. Onward to Irbeth, Chief. Let's go clear my good name. Root out the traitor, but be quick about it. Time's running out. I don't want to get chewed up by demons. I understand that. So he's the traitor. Hey, Woljif, how much did they pay you? At last, Brother Woljif has revealed his true face. Kill the traitor. Pack your bags, Brother Woljif. We're sending you to the farm. Charisme drums her fingers nervously on the handle of her blade. Well, are you going to tell me who the traitor is? The name and the Moon of the Abyss that they stole. I don't need anything else. Take a good look at the suspects. The Tieflings watch you sullenly. They're a pretty diverse group. You have no idea if the person you're looking for is among them. Remind me, what are you accusing Woljif of? Charisme huffs in irritation. I'm accusing him of ratting us out to Irbeth, of stealing our loot, the Moon of the Abyss, an expensive amulet that could have fed us all for a year. That's enough to get him sent to see his relatives on the farm. Yeah, I need a little more time. 55% chance. We'll take that chance. Hey, if you value your life, you won't even look in this direction. I figured something like that would happen. So this wants us to go back and talk to Erebeth. We may as well do that
As it
in the
should
next
be.
episode then. I guess we're still not done in the tavern. One day. Do this random encounter, and then we'll go to the tavern.
You can handle them, right?
Did you see that?
And in the next episode, we'll speak to Erebeth and try and knock out this quest. Alright, so I'm gonna call it here. Next one we'll sell the stuff we've picked up, go talk to Erebeth, return to the Thieflings, take care of that quest, and probably go to the Patoxian Wine Cellar after that. But for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.